right. Hey guys, welcome. I think we're live. It's still showing me the loading bar, but I am super excited to be bringing Rachael on with us today and having her share her story about how she was able to lose 30 pounds with thyroid problems and celiac. I feel like that's another big piece of the puzzle here. And just so you guys don't know, celiac and having thyroid imbalances makes it extremely difficult to lose weight. And so the fact that she was super successful, I wanted to share all of those tips and strategies with you guys so that you guys can build the belief in you being able to do this as well. So Rachael, thank you so much for being here. Do you want to take just a quick second and introduce yourself?
Sure. I signed up with Shannon. Well, I talked to her back in May, and then I didn't sign up until August. I have two kids. I have a almost 5-year-old and a 7-month-old. We had super challenging pregnancies, and in between the two kids, I got diagnosed with celiac disease. So I was like 28 when I got diagnosed with celiac disease. And then after my daughter, things just went crazy. And so that was and there's one of the troublemakers now.
Hello.
Do you want to say hi? Okay, go get your snack, please. Thank you. Sorry.
It's okay. Hey, we're all moms here. We're all moms here. So yeah, I mean, there was some time, right, between having a conversation and then working together and things like that. Had to get all of our ducks in a row.
Yep.
So tell us a little bit about the journey you had before and what that looked like, trying to get diagnosed and all of those steps.
Okay, so let's go. Probably after my son, I lost all the baby weight. It was great. I was fine. And then all of a sudden, within 4 months, I gained like 60 pounds in like 4 months. And you're going to have to wait a minute. This is very important. So I gained 60 pounds in 4 months. And I was like I was working out. I was dieting. I had no clue what was wrong with me. And my liver hurt. And so eventually, I probably waited 8 months. Eventually, I went to the doctor and I was like, I can't lose weight. My liver hurts. Like, what's going on? They were like, oh, it's probably your gallbladder. We'll go for an ultrasound and you need to go on a diet. And I'm like, no, I've been dieting. Like, this isn't working. They're like, no, you haven't. Like, go on a diet. Okay, so I start tracking my food. We went for the ultrasound. Oh, well, your liver and your spleen are swollen, but we don't know why. All your blood work came back normal. We think you have celiac disease. Okay. So they did a biopsy of my small intestine. I do have celiac disease. So they were like, okay, go gluten-free. That'll fix all your problems. Well, shocker, it didn't. I was like, no, I think it's my thyroid. And they're like, no, it's not your thyroid. My thyroid was like 0.4. My TSH levels were like 0.4. No, your thyroid's fine. Really? You sure? Yeah, your thyroid's fine. Your liver's fine. You don't have any problems. You just have celiac disease. You're not gluten-free.
Was your liver still swollen at that point?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay, but your liver was fine. Okay, got it.
Yeah. Apparently, it's normal for your liver to swell, and your spleen.
Okay.
So okay. They said, nope, it's just celiac disease. You just need to lose weight. You're not trying hard enough. So I tried keto, and keto kind of worked until I got off keto, and then all of a sudden, it didn't work anymore. Because I didn't keep the weight off. I just gained it all right back. And then I got pregnant with my daughter. So I was like, whatever. Super challenging pregnancy with her. I kind of gave up because I was like, nobody wanted to treat me when I was pregnant. They were like, oh, it's fine. We can't do anything. We can't touch you. You're pregnant. Okay, cool. So have the baby. I'm like, now can we talk about it? No, you're nursing. We can't do anything for you. You just have to wait till you're done nursing. Well, I nursed my son for 2.5 years. Like, that sucks. I don't like that answer. And I wanted to lose the baby weight. Like, it was super high risk pregnancy. I was on bed rest for most of it. I gained 90 pounds with my daughter. I lost probably 20 pounds, right off the bat, baby fluid, whatever.
Yep.
And then I was stuck. No doctor would talk to me. in that time, I had cleaned up my house. Like, we don't have Teflon in my house. We don't have plastic food containers in my house. I make my own laundry soap. Like, I had already cleaned up my house. Like, I barely wear makeup, if you can tell. Like, I only have like eyeliner and mascara
You're
on.
beautiful.
There was a week or two in there that I wish I had worn makeup, if you remember. So yeah, what am I missing, Shannon?
Okay, so
Yeah.
so before, right, you
Yeah.
tell us what you were struggling with, right? Like weight was an issue, nursing.
Weight.
Yeah.
My hair was falling out, like just in clumps. Like, it's actually coming mostly back. I had the thickest, longest hair, and it was just like gone. Like, I have no clue what happened to it. Like, gone. And this is like postpartum, and I still, like, my hair is pretty nice actually right now. But before, my nails like wouldn't grow. My hair was falling out. I was in pain like all the time. Like, my liver just constantly hurt. My shoulder hurt, and the doctors were like, "Oh, well, it's a musculoskeletal thing." And I was like, "No, it's not. Like, it's not the right area." And they're like, "Oh, yes, it is. It's fine." Okay, it's fine to be in pain. Like, I was miserable. I was cranky with my kids and my husband, and I was miserable. Like, I didn't want to live like that.
Yeah. Well, and I remember from our like first conversation, you said something. I'm trying to remember what it was.
Oh, the brain fog.
Yeah. See, there we go.
The brain fog. Because I'm a virtual assistant. I can't be forgetting things. I can't, which maybe I need to write things down. Could just be mom brain too a little bit here. But yeah, it was terrible.
Yeah.
Like, I was forgetting appointments. I was forgetting posts. I'm surprised I didn't get fired.
Hey, well, luckily, it sounds like you've got a great boss, and
I do have a really great boss.
Good. Okay, so I remember what I was gonna say. In our like first conversation that we had on the phone, I remember you saying something like, "I read your email and I felt like you could help me." So what was that shift, or what was the thing that like had make you have that aha moment?
So my aha moment to join you, it was I think it was your 90-minute masterclass. Because up until now, so I have a bachelor's in biology and I have my master's in public health. So I don't think I'm stupid, but I could not for the life of me figure out what was wrong with me. And I had all these doctors telling me, like, "You're crazy," basically. 1 minute. Hey, Benjamin, you need to turn that down. I cannot hear myself. Sorry.
Okay.
I had all these doctors telling me I was crazy. Like, these things can't be related. Your liver has nothing to do with your thyroid. Your shoulder has nothing to do with anything else. Like, you just have celiac disease. You're overweight. That's your problem.
Yeah.
And like, my body was like, "No, that's not what's wrong." But they're doctors. Like, why wouldn't you listen to them? Like, I felt like I was going crazy and just spinning in circles. And as soon as Shannon in her masterclass said, "If you have right liver pain or right shoulder pain, that's your liver," I was like, "I'm not crazy. She can help me." So that's when I decided to schedule the call with you. And I was like, forget it. I give up. I'm throwing in the towel. I need help. Not from a doctor, because clearly they don't want to help me, because they wouldn't even see me because I was nursing.
Yeah. Well, and keep in mind, you guys, this is months, right? Years, right? Because it started before you even got pregnant with your second, and then continued afterwards.
Yeah.
So a long time going to the doctor, struggling, being in pain, trying to perform your job, unable to function at the level, like you're functioning, right? But function at the level that you know is possible for yourself, which I think as women, we really just struggle feeling adequate as it is. And then you add in these other pieces and these other components of not feeling good and the brain fog. And it's like, well, I'm just a failure, and what's wrong with me? And and we take that and we internalize that. So let's go into some of the roadblocks that you faced, because I know, like, walk us through the Hansen method. What was that like for you?
Okay, so I talked to Shannon. I talked to you, and she was awesome. And I kind of instantly fell in love with her. And I was like, okay, like I pretty much told my husband before the call, I was like, look, nothing's working. He was like, I want you better. I was like, do you care what it costs? And he goes, you're going to spend it in supplements that aren't working anyways. So you might as well try something that works. I was like, okay, cool. So talked to Shannon, set up, like, I think it was in 24 hours we had signed, like I had agreed, and I was like ready to go. Started with her. It wasn't a huge shock for me. I was already gluten-free, I was already dairy-free, I was already corn-free, and I was already soy-free. So like I already wasn't eating all these things. So looking at like the meal plans, I was like, oh, like, okay, some of this is okay. And some of this I'm like, you want me to eat what? Like,
Yeah,
really? And her and Chris were awesome. And they were like, no, you're gonna, it's okay. You're gonna. And surprisingly, I actually really like Brussels sprouts. Who knew? And the things that I don't like, they have ways to eat without me hating them. So like beets, I don't like beets. I'm sorry, Chris, I tried. I don't like beets. But Shannon gave me a recipe where I actually like beets, and my body will like crave it. It's crazy.
Yeah.
So the first roadblock was probably my own mental, like, I'm not eating this. And well, yes, you will. You'll get past it, and it's okay.
Let's be very clear, and I hope Chris is watching this. Chris is a little bit more of a hard ass, excuse my language, than I am, right? I'm a little more fluffy, and I'm like, okay, well, let's just find a replacement, and it's okay. And Chris is like, no, you're gonna try it, and
Yes.
we'll just see if you like it or not, right? Like, you don't know because you've never tried it. So
I love Chris. For the record, I love Chris. I did not think I would, but I do.
Well, it's a good cop, bad cop.
It is. Yeah. It is. It totally is. Like, if you want like the nice answer, you ask Shannon, and then if you want like the give it to me straight answer, you ask Chris.
Yeah.
Not that Shannon won't, but she's nicer.
I'll sugarcoat it and make it a little nicer and like deliver it that way, right? It still ends up being the same answer, but mine's just, and people respond to different methods, and that's why we have two of us. Yes. So, okay, I remember there was a period during the process where you were like, Chris and I behind the scenes were like, she's either going to swing one way or she's going to swing the other way.
So initially I started following the protocols because Shannon was the only one that would talk to me while I was nursing, the only one that would deal with the fact that I was still breastfeeding my baby. And I started, and like, I was like wins all over the place. Like, I looked better. I felt better. The bloating was gone. The pain was gone. I was losing weight. I was super happy. And then we kind of hit a wall and my face broke out and my liver started to hurt again. And my husband was like, I don't want to eat this. This is disgusting. You have to cook 2 dinners. My son was following his lead. I was like, I can't cook 2 dinners every night. Like, and I was kind of freaking out. And they were like, it's okay. Like, you can do this. And I was like, okay. Like, and my husband was like, you're done. Like, I don't want to eat this. Like, this is gross. I'm not doing this. And my liver was, and they made me give up. Well, they didn't make me. I gave up coffee. I went from drinking 6 cups of coffee a day to nothing. And I still have this energy.
Well, and I remember you telling me on the call, you're like, I will do anything you ask, but I'm not giving up coffee. And I was like,
I did say that. I did say that.
And I was like,
and I gave up coffee.
But that was your choice, right? Like,
it was my choice. It was, because everything else you told me made me feel so much better that I was like, let's see what happens. The worst thing is that it doesn't make me feel better, and I start drinking it again. And they even gave me a substitute that kind of is like coffee that makes me happy in the morning. So it's okay.
Yeah. Yeah. With all, it's the texture, right? Like we talk about that a lot of times, is it's the texture and it's the flavor. It's not necessarily like the coffee or the chocolate or the chips or whatever it is. Okay, so tell us, what was that roadblock for you? Like what, I mean, I know like the outside factors with your husband, your son, but what happened to your body besides just the liver pain?
Um, you mean like my face, like my entire chin looked like I was back, like I was 16 again. Like my skin broke out, and Chris is like, "Oh, this is a good thing. Your liver's detoxing." And I'm like, "Really? Like, no, it's not a good thing." And I don't even wear makeup, so like I can't hide this. Like it was awful. My skin broke out. I was really tired for a while. Like you kind of feel like you have the flu, and Chris is like, "It's a good thing," and you get nauseous and you feel awful. Like you feel like you have the flu, but you don't. Like there's no fever. But you feel terrible. And my legs hurt. Like I felt like I had restless leg syndrome. Like it was,
For about 2 weeks, right?
yeah. Because
Yeah.
normally die off takes between like 3 to 14 days, and my body took the full 14 days.
Yes, yes.
But you
And
push through.
so that's when Chris and I were like, okay, this is going to go one way or another. Like, but it was like all of a sudden that next week you got on the call and we're like, there's the Rachael we know. Right?
Yes.
There's
Yep.
the beautiful face, there's her personality, there's her energy, all of those things. Now, the other thing I wanted to just kind of mention is some of the strategies that you started to use to get your husband and your kids on board so you weren't making 2 meals. Do you want to share a couple of the things that you started?
Sure. So we started doing the sharing plate, which ended up being the playing plate in my house. So I was, for probably the first 4 or 5 weeks, I was making 2 dinners, one for me and then one for them, because they didn't want to eat asparagus and they didn't want to eat beets and they didn't want Brussels sprouts. And so I was making 2 dinners and I was like, "Chris, I can't keep doing this. Like, I'm too busy. I don't have time." She goes, "Well, then don't. They can eat what you're eating. Like, it won't kill them." And I was like, "You're right. It won't." So she was like, "Just give them a sample portion. Would you like a full portion or would you like a sample portion?" And so I would give them a serving of beets in a little plate that the two of them shared, and one would sit here and one would sit here, and then their plate would be like right here. And they painted my table with it. My husband included, yes, the adult included. They painted the table, they played with it, they got it on their hands, they got it on their faces. I was like, I guess it's bath night for the both of you. Like, what is this? But we started to, show them that like these foods were not terrible. And there's still things that they don't prefer, but everybody has preferences. Like, you will never get past that. And it's okay.
I don't do bananas. And I know that that's super weird. I don't do bananas.
Really?
I know. Everybody's like, you don't do
My
bananas.
husband won't either.
Nope. Bananas, I can't do it. My husband will have a banana in his shake and then he'll come try to kiss me and then I'm gagging. And so I can't do them. So, exactly that. Everybody has different preferences. But part of it is opening up to opportunities. I did try a banana like 2 years ago. I put Nutella on it. And I did it for my kids because my kids were right there. And I ate it. I tried. I swallowed it. But I was still like, no, I still don't like bananas. I still don't like bananas. It's okay. I still don't like them.
That's fine.
Yep.
That's funny.
It was pretty funny. Okay, so where are you now? Where's your family now? What are the results that you're having? What happened in this wonderful transformation?
So what happened? Chris made me do mindset work. That's what happened.
Yeah.
So I am one of those people that I was like, I don't need mindset work. Like, I'm fine. I'm good. I don't do it. Like, and apparently anger is an emotion that's stored in your liver. So apparently I do mindset work. So Chris has all these fun little, let's call them games that you can play. And I'll be honest, they kind of sucked. Like, especially if you're somebody that doesn't like do the whole emotional side, and you don't do that stuff, you're like, no. And Chris is like, yes. And Shannon's like, yes. And I'm like, oh, fine. So I did it and it worked. I hate that she's always right.
Dang, Chris.
So we did a lot of mindset work, and that probably took the longest. That probably took like 5 weeks or more. And I'm still working on, like, it's still a work in progress, but at least I admit that it could be a work in progress now.
Yes. Yes.
Which, if you remember correctly, was not where I was in August.
No, and I remember you even saying when we talked about like struggles and wins, you were like, I am struggling with the mindset piece. I feel like I don't need this kind of deal, you know? And I was like, okay, but it's like slowly, right? We start to open our mind to, oh, what's that person over there doing? Oh, she had this result because she did this work. And you're like, well, I want that result. So, okay, if that's how she got it, then that's what I'm going to do, kind of deal, right? Hi, pretty girl. So tell everybody, like, what physically happened to you. So we've got the mindset piece. So a lot of internal shifts, a lot of internal changes. What happened to the physical part?
So I've lost 30 pounds since mid-August, which is insane. Like, I feel like every week I've lost 3 pounds, like, and I'm eating probably more than I was before I signed up. Like, I would count calories and macros and spend all this time like tracking all this craziness, right? Because that's what you do to lose weight, right? Because apparently, according to the doctors, I'm not trying. So that's what you do. And when I stopped doing that and just listening to my body, like actually acknowledging like, oh, I really want this. Like, let's figure out how to do this. And like now, like the meal plan might say, you're supposed to eat, and they talk about food combining in there, which is huge, huge. Oh my goodness. I think I have to credit that with probably most of the weight loss because it was just that easy. But like, if I'm like, I really want Brussels sprouts, which is so weird for me to say, I'll be like, okay, like I can either add it in like as a second vegetable, or I can, sub cabbage for Brussels sprouts and make it work. And like, how to do this now. And like, you still lose weight eating what your body needs and wants, even if it's not like, chocolate, although there is a chocolate shake. So you can still kind of have chocolate.
And dark chocolate. You can still have dark chocolate and stuff.
You can, yeah. And like, you detox from all of the other, can I say crap? You detox from all the other crap. And now like dark chocolate is like delicious. Whereas before you were like, no, like I want the milk chocolate. Like I want Hershey's. No, dark chocolate's amazing now.
Yep.
Now
Awesome.
that I'm like detoxed.
Okay. For anybody who is maybe on the fence or doesn't know the Hansen method or whatever, what tips or strategies, or what would you tell someone who is maybe on the fence or doesn't know what we're talking about? What would you tell them?
I would tell them, so if you are anything like me, you have been to doctors and paid all those copays. You have had CT scans done. You have had ultrasounds done. You have had biopsies done. You have had more blood work than you can count done. And then the doctors lose your blood work on you, so you have to get it redone at your charge. And you pay for all these supplements, which, fun fact, most of them don't work. We learned that, right? With the vitamin C. I was taking, I don't know, twice what like the package said for my vitamin C supplement, and it came back that I was deficient in vitamin C. Like, that's crazy. So you're going to spend all that money on all this stuff that isn't working for you. So you might as well spend the money on something that is probably going to work for you, because there's not, like, you call it the Hansen method, but I feel like it's a process that is tailored to you. So like, it's not like my process isn't the same as somebody else's in the program, and we're on different protocols and like different meal plans. So it's called like the Hansen method, but it's tailored to you. Like, it's not a one size fits all kind of deal. Like you get at the doctor, like, oh, here's a pill, let's see what happens. Like, no.
Yeah. No, that's a good point. We do individual protocols, but the Hansen method is, the way that I like to think about it is, we're teaching you the strategies to be able to sustain this, right? We're teaching you how to food combine. So then, okay, once you start learning that, you're like, oh, this is how I structure a meal. And so you don't need us forever, right? And it's not a 3-month program.
Keep them forever.
Yes. I mean, I do, because I fall in love with each one of you guys, but I mean, that's not a practical sense, right? Like our doctors, our physicians, like, we should be able to go in, deal with the issue, and then leave. It shouldn't be, we have to go back every 2 months, every month, every 3 months for new lab work, new testing, new checkups, new whatever, without having some kind of container to be able to implement all of the changes. And just, okay, I'm going to go there really fast. The medical model, you guys, I worked in a doctor's office. We would see, I wouldn't. My uncle would see 5 patients in an hour. There is no way in that amount of time, once a month, once every couple months, for them to really get to know you and what's going on in your life and help you make those necessary changes. You know?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Make lasting impact. And so what Rachael is saying is, we teach you the steps in the Hansen method, but you're getting a specific protocol specific to you, right? So I love that. Any last ideas, thoughts, tips that you want to share?
So I had already cleaned up my life before I met you, right? I just listened to module 10, because I'm almost done. It's so sad. So I just listened to module 10, and I thought I had cleaned up my house, and I went through my house and threw away probably an entire garbage bag full of stuff. So there was stuff even I didn't know.
Yeah.
That was like, quote unquote, like labeled as healthy. Yeah. So there was stuff that even I didn't know. Like, and I had already like ditched all the Teflon, ditched the plastic, no makeup, like, and there was still stuff that I missed.
Yeah. And that's such a good
And point. Now there's a new app, and it's amazing. Like, amazing. Everything's all in one spot. You can fill out all the stuff, and then you get real time, like Chris and Shannon can go in and be like, oh, like they can track what you're doing, and they can be like, oh, I see the problem. It's right there. And like, I wouldn't have known it's right there. So their new app is amazing.
Oh, thank you. I'm so excited, because it allows us to look at it in such a different way. And like you said, we're able to give real life feedback instead of, okay, well, what about this? Okay, what about this? How about this? You know, and then we have to ask all of these other questions to try to get to the thing, right? In the app, we're able to get there so much quicker. Because
and it's so much easier for us because it's an app. Like, how easy is it to enter your food into an app?
Yeah. Yep. And you can enter it at the end of the day. We have some people that do it, you know, once a week. So it's all the things. So, oh goodness. Thank you, Rachael, so much for being on here today and sharing your amazing journey.
Thank you.
30 pounds in 10 weeks is phenomenal. Especially considering having celiac and thyroid and babies and nursing and all of the things, all of the other roadblocks. And it seems like it's worth it for you, right?
Even hands down.
Discomfort and annoyance.
And okay, I have one more thing. Can I share one more thing?
Yes, absolutely.
So any other time I would try a diet or a program, that you don't get the support that you have with Shannon and Chris, you hit that roadblock, right? If my face had started breaking out and I felt like crap, I would have been like, oh, this isn't working. Let me stop. And I would never have pushed through, because if you feel bad, like you're like, oh, this isn't working. And you don't have someone to explain it to you. So you stop. And like sometimes there's certain things that you do need to stop. Like we stopped one of my supplements because it wasn't working. I love your dog.
Yeah.
But sometimes you don't stop and you need to push through, but you need that like expert opinion on which one is it. And I wouldn't have known the difference. I would have just stopped.
Right. Yep. And that's such a good point, because some people stop right when they're about to make that breakthrough, right?
Yeah.
Push through for 2 weeks. And I'm pretty sure I heard Chris tell you, like, give it 2 weeks.
Yeah, she did.
And, and you were like, okay, right? I guess I will. But you did, and you got the amazing results.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Huge transformation. In so many more ways than physical, right? The emotional.
I mean, yes,
part.
but I'm most excited about the 30 pounds gone.
Well, and now you have a plan to continue on, right? Which is amazing. It's so amazing to have that and to know.
And
okay,
you gave me a plan for the holidays, on how to survive the holidays without losing my mind, whether you're hosting or traveling, like.
Yep.
Yep. So yeah, there's plans in place.
Awesome. Okay, cool. Thank you, Rachel.
Thank you.
And we'll see you tomorrow on the coaching calls.
Yes, ma'am.